In this lesson, we're going to learn about HUD Animations, and basically what that means is that it's going to be elements such as bar graphs, pie charts, and all that, and we're going to add a futuristic look. So it's going to be very tech-like, and it's a great way to maybe showcase your presentation in a new fun way, or to just add an element to your video to show that you're using a really futuristic device that can maybe generate these infographics for you. So if you've seen Iron Man, when he's wearing his helmet, there's these elements that are glowing and he's looking at them and maybe he's working with them. Those are called HUD animations. And we're going to create something similar. It's obviously not going to be as advanced as the Iron Man movie. We're going to start slow, start with something simple, and then perhaps move on to those more advanced 3D elements. And by advanced, I mean that once you create those elements, you need to track the model's face in the video. In Iron Man's case, it's his face. We need to track that, and we need to place the 3D elements on top, work with the perspective, and it's just going to be a little bit more difficult than just creating the elements and putting it in a regular video. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to double click here. You have 4 things in your HUD Animations folder. Just bring them all in as footage. So we have 2 videos. We have this one. Let's double click and bring it in. It's a people in the office, and one of them is giving a presentation. We have a screen, but as you can see, this is just a simple flat photo. We're going to animate our elements, maybe add a bunch of them, and we can also make her finger interact with those elements, like she's pushing a button and then it shows the another graph. So this is for our first example. We're going to go with flat shapes, flat colors. But with the second example, we have this person giving another presentation. We have the perfect opportunity to create those futuristic glowing elements. So it's going to be the exact same thing we made in the first video, but we're going to add a glow to it. And this example is going to be closer to the Iron Man elements. So let's go ahead and create our composition. Click here, call this bar graph. We're going to have to create separate compositions for each of those elements and make sure it's 1920 by 1080. So we want it to be the exact same dimensions as the video. You can make it 15 seconds or so. I'm going to make it black, change the color if you need to. So you could either just download these things from the internet, the bar graphs, the pre-made animations from platforms like YouTube, like WithEasy, maybe Adobe Stock, FreePic, just any other platform you prefer. You could, if you can, create it yourself in Illustrator or Photoshop and then bring it in here. But for today's lesson, I'm going to use the tools that are available in After Effects, just in case you may not know how to use Photoshop or Illustrator, or you prefer to create something from scratch. So we need to make a simple single composition for each of these elements. We're going to start with bar graph. First off, we're going to get our pen tool to create the lines that are in bar graphs. We're going to get our pen tool, and before I do that, I'm going to bring in the image that we had. Just bring it in anywhere. We want to sample the colors. So we have this nice blue. We want to keep that. Get the pen tool and click away from the image. We're going to turn off fill. Add a good amount for stroke. Hit on the color, get the eyedropper tool. Let's perhaps make the lines this color. Hit OK. Then we're going to create a point somewhere around here. Hold down Shift and then click here. So we have a straight line. So you can see it's that color. Then we're going to make another one. Click on that again. Maybe make one here, hold down Shift, and create another line here. So this is what we have. I'm gonna turn this off for a second, the layer. This is what we have. And if you open these up, believe it's shape. We have shape 1, shape 2. You can make them separate if you prefer. I'm just going to leave them like that because these lines are not that important. They're just there. All right, let's call this lines. And now underneath lines, we're going to create our bar graphs. And okay, we're going to get our rectangle tool. Click on that so it's below lines. Click away. So you're making shapes. This time we're going to add fill and no stroke. So turn off stroke. Turn this guy back on. For fill, we're going to add this cyan color. Now we can turn this off and just go ahead and make some bars. These size isn't that important. I'm going to click away. Want to make sure these are separate layers. Just try to get them the same width. You can change them later yourself. Close these. Make a medium one here. Tall one here. To click away first. Tall one here. Small one here. All right. So we have these placed. You can get your selection tool and maybe fix the spacing if you need to. I think mine is pretty good. All right, so we have these, and let's check if they are in order, and they are. You can rename them, but because I made mine in order, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring the line above all of these shapes, so they're looking like that. And now, because we want them to appear from below, we need to go in scale. First, we need to work with the anchor point. Zoom in. We want to bring the anchor point of each of these shapes just below on the middle line here. And this way, when we scale this, we're going to get it coming from below. So normally when you scale things, it happens from the center, but that's only because the anchor point is in the center. So once you bring this down, you get to have that appearing bar graphs. And because scale has animations, we can adjust when those bar graphs appear. All right, let's go on the first one. Hit S on your keyboard. We're going to unlink this. So you see this guy, just click on it, no longer there. And if you go on the y-axis, you can see we're getting a tall one, a short one. We come all the way down, just hide it behind here. And if we turn on the scale stopwatch, we can make it come however long we want it. As you can see, it's appearing. And again, if you make it shorter, it's going to appear slower. Let's do the same thing with all of these guys. We're going to maybe make this one 0. Negative 1 would work better. Come in. Let me zoom out so I can see. Maybe make this really tall. Another one. Just do this for all of the layers. Make sure it's hidden behind the line. Got this. We may have to come back to this and adjust it according to the lady's finger because she moves it at a certain speed. We need to match that speed once we are ready to combine the elements with the video, which would be in the next lesson. Unlink, turn on the stopwatch. Oops. Bring it down first and then turn on the stopwatch. And there's our final graph. Okay, I'm going to expand this. Grab all of these keyframes, F9. And if you want, you can leave them as they are. This is how they appear. Looks nice. You can also go into speed graph, but I'm happy with the way they look. So this is our bar graph. And if I make a composition out of our video, you come from selection and bring in bar graph. We put it on top. You can see we have this. Let's bring it here maybe. We're going to get the animations on top of our clip. It's rendering, but you can see we have the animations. First it was nothing, and then here they start to appear. So that's what we're doing with the HUD animations. Let's delete this composition, close it off. So this is our graph right now, and we can either make this glowing or keep it flat. You can choose whichever you prefer. I'm going to keep it flat, and that way I can add a glow to it later if I want to. So that's our bar graph. We did the first one. It's really easy. Let's make another composition. Call this circle thing. Not sure what we can call it. Hit OK. Or actually, because we have the photo, we can just click on that, right click, new come from selection. So we have all of these futuristic elements. I got this on FreePick, but we're just going to work with this guy, the circle in the center. All right, so we only need the circle in the middle. So just long click on your shape tool, get the ellipse tool, select that so you're masking it. And we just want to create circle that can fit all of these in there. Open this up, mask path, and we just want to maybe double click on that and just expand so we can see the whole shape. We're missing out these bright blue colors in the edge. All right. But because we're getting these, let's just remove those and work with the circle inside. Okay, there we are. So we have this thing, and it's a flat image. But what we want to do is to just keep duplicating this and kind of create a nice dimension to it. So we have like a circle on the outside, and then we have another one on the inside. So get the circle again, go on this one. Let's call these outer, this one inner. On inner, we're going to make another circle in the center. Okay, and then we're going to open mask 2, mask path, get the pen tool and just double click on it. And make sure we're only getting the inside only, not these lines, so we can get a nice selection. Okay, so in the second one, we're going to delete mask 1. Don't need that. So in here, inner, we have mask 2. On outer, we have mask 1. So basically, if we turn this off, actually let's copy this mask 2 onto mask 1, into mask. So we have these, but this one, mask 2, we're going to subtract. Turn this off. So this is for outer. Close that. Turn this off and bring this back in. We're going to, first we need to copy mask 1, Control C or Command C. Turn this off, come to inner, click on mask, Control V, and we're going to subtract mask 1. Oops, I locked it in place. Hit none, and now we only have the inside. So basically we have the inside here, the outside here. Now because we separated these two, we can maybe rotate each one. First, make sure that the anchor point is in the center. This one is. Inner is also in the center. So hit R on each one. We're going to turn on the stopwatch, move in to maybe the last, to the end of our timeline, add a 360 degrees. So this is going to just spin like that, and we're going to do the same thing for this. R, but we want this to go the opposite way. So do that, come to the end, and we're going to search negative 360. So it goes the opposite way. This is what we have. Our circles aren't exactly perfect. Gotta fix that. Or we can hit S on this and maybe create a space on purpose. Maybe that will look cool. Hit P on this. We know that we need to move this a little bit to the right. Yeah, our circles aren't perfect. We may have to redo the circles, but it's fine. I'm going to leave them like that. If you don't want the outer part to show, you can scale this inwards, bring this back to the center where it was, and now we shouldn't be able to see the edge. Alright, so there it is. We cannot see the edge because we made the outer layer smaller than the inner layer. Alright, you can see we need to scale it in even more. So just do that. There we are. So we have this going on. Just this thing circling around. And I'm going to hit P on outer. It's getting a little bit out of place. There we are. So we just have this circling thing. And I'm going to rename this composition, call it circle. So now we have bar graph, we have circle. We made 2 of our elements. Now we're going to make our third element, which is, I guess, a pie chart. You can call it that. Make a new composition, call this pie chart. Everything's good. Hit OK. And again, we're going to start with this shape. This time we're going to need some colors. So hold down Shift, make a perfect circle. Like so. We're going to duplicate this a bunch of times. I guess we need 4 parts. 3 is standard. Get 3. We're going to choose different colors for each one so they stand out. Got red for this. Let's get a green for this. It's a odd color combination, but it will do. Alright, so we're going to go on each of these ones and we're going to work with our Effects and Presets tab right here, and we're going to search for Radial Wipe. In transition, drag that onto Shape Layer 1. So turn on the, first make it 100, because we want it to appear. Turn on the stopwatch, hit U on this so we can see. Go to like 4 seconds maybe. I'm going to remove from the transition. So we have this until this much. This one, the first one, want to make sure it's 100 because it will be the background for everything. If you want it to go the other way, just hit this and it's going to go this way, which is the way I want it to move. Alright, I'm going to first delete these. We can simply just duplicate this. Duplicate this one. Change the colors. And then in each one, we're going to hit U. And in the second one, just gonna offset things by a lot. So you can see we have this. Each one of them are going to appear at the time they need to, and they'll stop where we tell them to. Although for us, we're gonna make sure that the second and third ones are not 100%. So let's go for 57 for this. This is the red one, and then for the green one, we want to hit U on that. Delete the 100%, maybe end it on a low number, like. So in this case, it's a high number on 88. So the cyan one is going to go all the way, but the rest of them are going to stop where we tell them to. You can make this one faster, the green one, because it's little number. Can make the red one a little bit faster. And yeah. So we have this. And I'm going to actually duplicate the first one, just because I don't like that we only have cyan here. Hit U. Now instead of 100 on this one, let's delete that. First change the color. Let's go for this dark blue. Going to add maybe till here. Play that back. They all appear in order. There we are. Change the colors if you want to. I'm going to leave them like that. When we want to change the color, I'm going to come back to it later. Grab all the keyframes, easy ease. And let's have a look here. All right. I'm going to offset the blue one as well. The red one too. I don't want them all appearing at the same time. There we are. Okay, so the blue, which is, I think, this one, it's a little too slow. So we want to make it a little faster. Slow this guy down maybe. Just don't want the red to go over the blue. There we are. Okay, so that was the pie chart. You can see, easy. Close that, and we're going to make another line chart, line graph, and go in project. Make a new composition, call this line graph, hit OK. Again, we're going to get the pen tool, first click, hold down Shift, next click. And we need to first add to the stroke. I guess this color will do. 20 pixels is alright. Another point, hold down Shift, do that. So we have this. Then of course we need to make our line. So click away, we're going to make the stroke different color. I'm choosing really vibrant and random colors now, but later we definitely need to choose better colors because it's going on a video. Now let's make like a line chart, a line graph. So we have something like this. All right, and then on this, I'm going to click away. We're going to get our circle. Zoom in, turn off the stroke, turn on the fill. Let's choose another vibrant color, and we're going to hold down Shift and draw perfect circles on each of these places. So I want to place it exactly on the joints, I guess. Okay, place it here. And we can just do that a bunch of times. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 more, so Control D 4 times. I'm gonna move each one to their rightful place. One here, got another one up there. Hit V and just put them on each of the edge. Zoom in to make sure they're in the right spot and they're covering the edge. Like this one, it's kind of slipping off. Bring it down. We also have the same problem down here. All right, so we have this line. And if you want, we could add a graph, like an arrow to the line. But I'm okay with this. I just want to connect the edge of the shape so it comes from here. And then our line, we want to bring it above like we did with the first one. And then on this one, let's name this line. Let's call this base. And the rest are just circles. We're going to select all of these shapes, hit S, make them 0. Oops, just type in 0. Turn on the stopwatch, and then just come in randomly how fast we want it to appear. Rather fast, 100, and then just select all keyframes, hit F9. So they're all gonna appear like that. It's a little slow. Let's make them faster. Okay. A little bit faster. Okay. So hit M on that, close them off, and then on line, we're going to open this up, go to add, trim paths, and then we're just going to, you can see we can kind of animate the shape. Want to make the end 0 as well. Make the start 0 as well. Turn on end from 0. We're going to go maybe 4 seconds and then make it 100. Grab both keyframes, F9, go into beginning, and it's going to appear at this speed. You can close them in and make them appear slower. Okay, to adjust these circles, we're going to play this until it hits the first circle. And over here, we know that we need to make this guy appear. Okay, so it's going to come in like this. The circle will appear when this is on the spot. Then we have our second line, a second circle. Bring it in here so it appears when the line shows up. The next spot is up there. This is the circle, I believe. Okay, move it up here. The next point, bring it here. Then our last point, which is up here. And then the bottom is not that important. We're going to make it fade into the line. Oh, I moved the base accidentally. Play this back to where the line was, and then bring this one back. Okay, let's play this. They should appear with the line. Okay, we'd actually add one more circle, Control D, just so the last line isn't just hanging there. Go back in time where the last line appears, around here. And let's see which one is the line. Okay, just bring it in here. Okay, now they should all have like a circle appearing at the time when the line reaches. There we are. So far we made, I believe 4 animations. Let's hit, I'll make a new composition just to show you what we made. Final, pie chart, bring it in. I'm gonna make it small, bring it in the corner. If you go in, oops. Let's first come in and then scale it so we can see what we're doing. Bring this in one corner. We have the next guy, which is line graph. This one as well, just make it like this. Circle, I think the biggest one. Make it smaller. Bar graph, I think that's the final one. So far in terms of animations, we have all of these random things. Let me first zoom in. lay that back. So we have all of these animations. They're all great for infographic presentations. There's one more thing that I wanted to show, and that is like a robotic text. So we're going to close this, make a final one, call this text. Okay, get our text tool. We'll choose this to be white for now until we choose a good font. For example, we can type in all caps, calculating all assets, 3 dots, bring this maybe here. Control R, I want to create a line to align everything together. Calculating all assets. I'm not seeing my paragraph tab. Put this here. Okay. Then we want to write other things. For example, assets found. And then down here, creating report. Just something a robot would say. Can close that. And just put this somewhere like this and just make it long. And Control A, select it. And we're going to look for a somewhat robotic text. Okay, I'm going to find the robotic font and then I'll be back so you guys can add that too. Okay, I found it. It was called System and Bold. You can make it, we only have bold. Now let's move this a bit to the side. Close this. Open up this text layer. I'm going to go in text and we're going to get, I'm going to go for character offset. Alright, and in Animator 1, we're going to hit this add button, property, opacity. Now it's 100, set it to 0%. And then in range selector, open that up. We're going to turn on the start keyframe at 0%. Come in maybe 2 seconds and then make it 100%. And then come down in advanced. We're going to go down to smoothness, turn that to 0 because we want it to be robotic. So basically we have this. We can maybe add a pause between the text. So delete this. We're going to go on until we are seeing the dot, the third dot. There it is. And then we're going to make a pause here. So it's going to be like that. Make another keyframe. And then after it, we're going to add the rest, or the second sentence. Assets found. Move in. Turn. Make another keyframe. And then finally, it's going to do that. F9. And basically, it's going to be like this. Pause. Says this. And then pauses again. And then finally, the last thing. Okay. So if I delete text and try to make room here for the text, let's make it smaller. Try to add some variety too. We have the bars on one side and everything else on the other. And if you did want them to reflect, just right click, transform, flip horizontal. So transform horizontal. You can do this if you want it to be this way. Usually it's the other way, but I'm just showing you how you can flip things. Bring it here. Bring this below, and then we're going to add our text composition, the final element. Make this smaller and put this here. Okay, and in the circle, I do want to add maybe a scaling effect because it's just there when everything else appears. So hit 0 on that, turn on the stopwatch. I believe it was 33%. Alright, and let's do the same thing. Copy those keyframes on the bar graph, hit S, paste that. Then we have the line graph, hit S, paste that. So everything appears suddenly. And obviously we need to change the colors and then align them in a nicer way. We need to decorate the presentation board. Let me bring it in again. We need to decorate the presentation board with these elements that we made, change the color, and then put it within this screen. Now we're done with the base of our flat elements. In the next parts, we're going to make it more futuristic, maybe add a glow to it, make it look like a hologram almost. And we'll just see how we can do that in the next lessons. I'll see you guys there.